Namaste students, welcome back to your geography class. We will continue with the lithosphere. Yesterday in the last class we studied about the internal forces, in that we studied about the volcanoes. In today's class let us study about the earthquakes. So what are earthquakes? Earthquakes, children, it is a shock of or series of shocks or tremors due to the sudden movement of the crustal rocks generated within the crust or mantle. The points of origin of the earthquake in the earth's crust, we call that as a semi-focus or the hypocenter. The point on the earth's surface vertically above the among the seismic focus is called as the epicenter. See, this is the epicenter. So the scientific study of earthquakes is called seismology. The origin, time, velocity and direction of seismic waves are recorded by an instrument called as a seismograph. Now we had to know what are the causes of earthquakes. The causes of the earthquakes are plate tectonics, volcanic eruptions, faulting, man-made factors. So let us move on to the plate tectonics. So the Earth's crust, children, consists of many major and minor plates. So these plates are not stationary. The plate boundaries are dynamic places and are the primary location of earthquake activity. Volcanic eruption. The volcanic earthquakes are caused by gas explosions, like the Krakatoa volcano of Indonesia. We are also having the volcanic faulting. See, this is the fault line where you can see. This is the fault line where you are having. A fault consists of a fracture in a rock along with a great deal of displacement which takes place. You can see it. Displacement which takes place. Earthquakes occur when occur when movement of the plates take place along with the line of fracture. We are also, apart from the nature made, we are also having the man-made factors. One of the interaction of man with nature is also one of the main cause for the occurrence of many of the earthquakes. The extraction of minerals, deep underground mining, huge dams and reservoirs, nuclear tests are all the man-made factors which are responsible for the earthquakes. Next, we will move on to the earthquake waves. Children, the earthquakes are seismic waves originate in a seismic focus, and it travels towards the epicenter in ripples or concentric circles. The three important earthquake waves are primary waves, secondary waves, and the surface waves. Now let us know about the primary waves. Primary waves are also known as longitudinal and compressional waves. They are the fastest earth waves and the first waves to reach the surface. They can press through the solid, liquid, gaseous matters. Now we will move on to the secondary waves. Secondary waves are also known as the transverse or distortional waves. These waves cannot pass through liquid, they reach the epicenter. This is the epicenter. They reach the epicenter after the primary waves. Now we will move on to the surface waves. Surface waves are also called as long waves. They are the slowest earthquakes but are responsible for the highest destruction on the surface of the earth. Children, the earthquakes, when we tell, the earthquakes are very dangerous and destructive. They cause large scale deaths, loss of property, landslides, flash floods, damage to bridge, roads, railway lines. Tsunami is a large sea wave occasionally experienced along the coast of Japan in other regions caused by the underwater earthquake. In Japanese language, tsunami means harbor waves. On 26th December 2004, a tsunami in the Indian Ocean swept the coastal lowlands of Indonesia, India, Sri Lanka, Thailand. On 11th March 2011, a tsunami in the Pacific caused a huge damage in the eastern coastal regions of Japan. Some seismic recording centers of India are Gauribidnur, Kodaikanal, Pune, Hyderabad, and Dehradun. Now we will move on to the distribution of the earthquake prone region. The Circum Pacific belt, this is a earthquake prone regions. These regions are around the Pacific Ocean. Then we are having the Mediterranean belt. It is a regional around the Mediterranean Sea. The Himalayan belt in the Sivalik region of the Sivalik region of India. Now let us move on to the next topic, that is external forces. What do we mean by external forces? External forces, children, are the natural forces that modifies the surface of the earth. The important forces are temperature, wind, rainfall, snowfall, river, glacier. So these forces act on the surface of the earth, and constantly what happens, there is a change in the features. Let us know about the weathering. When we tell weathering, weathering is the, what do we mean by weathering? We have to note down. Weathering is the wearing away or breaking down or the gradual disintegration of rocks by agents. So, which are the agents? The agents are temperature, rainfall, wind. So, which are present in the atmosphere. We are having three types of weathering. We are having the mechanical weathering, chemical weathering, and biological weathering. Let us know about the mechanical weathering. When the rock is broken and disintegrated without any chemical alteration, the process we call it as physical weathering or mechanical weathering. The important process of mechanical weathering are granular disintegration, block disintegration, and exfoliation. The agents of mechanical weathering are temperature, wind, frost, children. Now we will move on to the chemical weathering. When we move on to the chemical weathering is mainly brought about by the action of substance that will be dissolved in water, in rainwater. So, this type of weathering results in the change of composition of minerals which are present in the rock. We are having four types of chemical weathering. They are oxidation, carbonation, hydration, and solution. Now let us move to oxidation. In oxidation, in this type of chemical weathering, oxygen dissolved in water, what happens? It reacts with some minerals like iron to form oxides. Secondly, we are having carbonation. When the rainwater falls, children, on the limestone, the calcium carbonate which is present in the rocks absorbs the carbon dioxide from rainwater, and it becomes calcium bicarbonate. Then we are having hydration. So what do we mean by hydration? It is a process by which some minerals in the crystalline form absorb the water and become a powdery mass. Feldspar is a common rock forming crystalline mineral. Then we are having solution. When the rain falls on the surface of the land, the rainwater dissolves soluble minerals which are present in the rocks. Thirdly, third type of weathering is children. It is a biological weathering. Living organisms like plants, animals, and human beings play a role in one way or another in the weathering rocks. This type of weathering it includes both physical and chemical weathering. First one is plants, growth and expansion of roots. Secondly, animals which burrow under the burrowing animals like rabbit, earthworms, rabbits, and all come under the burrowing animals. Then we are having human beings, mining, quarrying, construction works. So these are all the external forces. These are all the external forces. So children, in the next class, we will study about what do we mean by denudation, what are the agents of denudation, also we will be studying. Thank you children.